We have with us Mr. Ashish Bhansali, Managing Director, Anand Group of Companies, Reliable Partners for Special Steels from Germany. Mr. Bhansali has an experience of 27 years with the Indian tooling industry. His passion for steel began at a tender age of 17. He believes an outburst is on the rise in the Indian tooling industry on the basis of qualitative and quantitative standards. He has been associated with TAGMA since its inception and believes that this association is the backbone of our industry and would reach out to infinite lengths to strengthen the bond of the association with the industry.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a very interesting sessions which we have seen yesterday and today. And everybody is talking about technology, upgradation, volumes, and cost reduction. So, as you very well know, we represent SWG in India for last 21 years, and we are almost now partners. We are one. And this presentation has been specially made for the customers who are really looking forward for giving a solution with cost, but by paying more. So only the customers who are really interested in paying more and getting the cost benefits, they can really benefit out of this presentation. In this presentation, our agenda is how to choose plastic mold steel. This is the most sensitive issue. In last 21 years, Groditz and Anand has matured, grown with the market, where we started with a very humble commodity grades like 2311, 2738. And the market has eventually grown to a level where we can congratulate the tooling industry, because I saw yesterday the OEs, they have 75% of molds are localized. So we have achieved a good target. I congratulate the tooling industry for that. But now is the time where we have to go one up. And it is very critical, because the steel which you are going to choose is going to decide the outcome. We are going to play with very abrasive polymers. The quality of the components are going to be very high. The demand is also going to be high. Some of the components, your demands are not going to be high, but still you have to maintain the quality. So this presentation is a brief in which we are sharing our experience of Indian market, Indian tooling industry. So I hope we justify in this presentation. So there are 6 factors to choose a mold steel. And these are to be very carefully monitored before you decide for or saying yes to your customers to make any mold. Because here, if you do any mistake, then it's a disaster, it's a catastrophe. And the only thing which you cannot give back to your customers is time, which is lost. Everything can be paid, everything can be got back, but not the time which is lost, which is very crucial today. So the first factor, how to choose the steel, we would like to focus on the mold design. It's a very crucial part, and this has to be decided by the tool maker. And we have seen yesterday Maruti and Volkswagen, they have been very much supportive. They also participate in all kind of activities, starting from the scratch, which is the design of the molds and everything. So this is one very important factor. The second factor on which you have to focus is what is the actual requirement of your customer. He requires X number of shots. If that requirement you have to match, you have to have a right steel. So this is again a very important factor which every tool maker has to consider. Then comes the next level requirement, where the polishing, it's a very, very important factor in tool making when it comes to the aesthetics. And I see that the next level where we have to grow for that last 25% to mature to 100% localization, these are the factors which are going to influence a lot. Because now you will be entering the pioneer tooling, which is very much different from the generic one which we have been doing for last 10, 15, 20 years. So this factor is going to decide, you have to decide the steel, which is going to give you the result what is expected by end users. Next is the texturing part, which is right now we have mastered this. We have a lot of companies which are doing texturing, and for that as well, now the next requirement, which is for the SUVs or the MUVs which are coming, you have textured bumpers. The bumpers have in past were just a polished component which were painted and they look good. But now with these bigger cars, you have textured parts which have to be taken care. There is no compromise, and we have seen a lot of customers coming to us in last 2-3 years saying that, okay, we have used a good quality steel, but the steel has failed in texturing. So this is the experience which Groditz has taught, with their experience has taught us, and we have a steel which is going to give you 100% solution. So once you have bought those steels with all these right parameters, you are 100% going to deliver a satisfied customer to the customer satisfaction. As Jonathan was also saying, you have to do things right at the first time. Cost just doesn't mean that you buy cheap stuff, cheap things, and then you keep on doing it again and again, and then your cost goes up. Ultimately, you are paying more. So do things right at the first time, and of course, there is the basic plastic mold steel is taking good care of the current requirement. We have been championed now underbody parts, we have been championing the texturing, we have been also now entering into the interiors, and interiors have been also satisfactorily being delivered. But now these are the critical ones where this 25% is going to matter a lot. And this is the right test for which we have to prepare ourselves. The next, there will be some applications where you have to be very careful about the corrosion resistance, because there are some polymers which are very abrasive. When you are making a mold, it looks good. It is going to initially give a perfect results, but after a couple of thousand shots, it shows up, because the abrasive polymer is going to eat the mold surface. And that's where you have to be careful that the mold maker has to be very much inquisitive to ask the OE or his tier ones that is there such requirement in the mold for the long run. So even this part, if it is not taken care of, you have taken care of all the 4, but you might fail in the 5th one, because then in long run he's going to come back to you saying that, okay, replace this mold because it's not working. Of course, we are talking about the big numbers now. The car industry is booming. There is going to be a requirement, like we see Maruti doing 1 million cars in one model. So it's not enough to just supply a general commodity steel which is going to satisfy a customer like Maruti. Not every customer is going to require that, but when you're handling a sensitive customer like this, whose sales are really huge, and they expect your steel to perform till you have to grow old. You have to grow old with the mold. So that is also one factor which we have to take care of. So coming to the second point of our agenda, which is plastic mold steel concept. The concept is very clear. Today we are going to the next level, so we have to have a pure ESR, very high quality, very high melt steel. And I'm happy to announce that Groditz is one of the the largest and one of the most experienced mill in the world. And those mills you can count on your fingers. And their experience is for last 240 years. So now they don't make those conventional stereotype steel. They invent, they innovate. And these slides give you the basic idea about what is ESR melting. So we have this vacuum degassing where the conventional melted steels are done. The second photo what you see is the ESR melting. And Groditz has got the largest capacity where we can produce single block of 82 tons. And that's you can very well understand 82 tons single ESR block, it's huge. So we have this forging after ESR, and then we have the heat treatment. What speciality about the steel produced products of SWG? SWG is one of the few mills which can give you all the solutions under one roof. You don't have to go to the second or the third mill to find out for your requirements, the other grades what you require. So we have this electric arc open melted steel facility. We have our ESR. And I am happy to announce that we cater almost 17 different grades in plastic. We are not talking here about the hot work steels or any other applications. It's just plastic. So today, where some of the mills, they stop the production for the steel offered, we begin from there. And in last 240 years of their experience, they have reached a level where some of the grades are the patented grades of Groditz, which I don't think nobody else can even offer. And all this has been done with the development of our customers' feedback and their experience. So here we are talking about corrosion-resistant steel. So this category where you see in gray are all the corrosion-resistant steels which are also in the conventional melted and the ESR ones. Then we have the precipitate hardening steel. These are the age-hardened steels. Which you can use for doing your mold in the right way. So first is your mold-based steel, which is 2311, which is for your small molds. Then we have 2738, which as you graduate about 300 or 400 thickness, you have to have a nickel-based steel, which is going to give you the consistent hardness. But when you further graduate above 600, 700 thicknesses, 2738 doesn't do the justice. That's where 738 HHS come in picture. And this is the steel which is answer to your big bumpers where you have to do texturing and polishing. This steel satisfies both the requirements. Then we have our champion grade, which is XPM. XPM is nothing but one step upgrade to 738HH, where hardness, some of the customers, especially in China, they love high hardness steel. and they want to have 40 HRC, 42 HRC. So XPM has been built for that requirement, which today I think we will be maturing in next 1 or 2 years, because the infrastructure what is required to machine such high hardened big blocks, big steel, is still with very few mold makers. Then comes the 25% which we have to mature. These are the steel which are going to take us to the next level. XPM Victory ESR grade, it is a revolution in itself. There was an instance which I still remember, which I have heard from the Groditz people, that Hella was making a mold in Germany for a car lamp. And we are talking about a car which is Audi A8, the most premium and a very big lamp. And they were using this 2344, 2343 steel, and in heat treatment, the steel block gets cracked. And the launch of the vehicle is in next 3 months. What do you do? That's where the XPM Victory ESR steel was introduced to Hella, and it was done within record 2.5 months. They made the mold, deliver the component as per the satisfaction to the customer. So today, pre-hardened steels are going to be the future. You cannot rely on those age-old conventional or the old-school steels, because deliveries have cut down to. Yesterday, I was hearing that people want mold within 21 days. How do you do that? Your heat treatment is going to take away another 10 days. So when will you make the mold? So these grades are going to make a big difference. Also, we had set an example for one of our customers who wanted to deliver, the OE is Tata, and they had to make the emblem, which is the crown of any company, or that's your logo. You cannot compromise on the quality of that. And they wanted to deliver again the mold within 15 days, 20 days, they wanted a component. And Just 80 was the grade which we supplied, and we feel proud to say that within 20 days, the customer had the component, and he was very much surprised. So these steels are going to do magic. Your infrastructure, of course, you have to upgrade, you have to go with the technology, but there is the technology which you cannot ignore, which is the base of everything, is your steel. So you have to use today's third generation steels, which are going to give you the output and what the OEs are expecting, because all this is being experienced by all these overseas car manufacturers who are coming to India, like Volkswagen and all others. They have been using this. But now they should know that this steel is available, and they have to. For us, we would like to educate the OEs. Because if they know that this steel is available in India, then they are surely going to speak to the mold makers or the tier ones, and it gets percolated to the lowest level. So this knowledge has to be first very much exchanged between right from the OEs till the mold makers, and they will be able to do the magic. Okay, fine, I'll do it fast. So again, corrosion resistant steels, and you have again these pre-hardened ones. We have high grade, high corrosion steels where you have to go with higher hardness. Of course, there you have to do the heat treatment, because there is no steel mill right now on this earth which can deliver 55 HRC pre-hardened steel in ESR and deliver those big blocks which are required. Of course, you can buy the steel, you can, small blocks, whatever is required, you have to do the heat treatment, and then you get your component. This slide is going to give you a basic idea about what steel you should pick up when your polishability comes in the picture. So the basic conventional ones, they are good when your RA values are for 4,000, 5,000. When you have to go beyond 5,000, you have to change your steel grade. And here comes, sometimes you have to even buy those old school ones, because the hardness is a criteria, and it also helps in your corrosion resistance. Then we have XPM, which is doing magic, where some of the lamp manufacturing companies for the rare lamps, they have used XPM, and XPM has delivered fantastic results. When you move ahead to the high-end ones, where you have to make the lens or a transparent article, or the polymer is nylon, glass fiber, 30%, 40%, these steels are going to be a solution for this. Then when you move ahead to the high-end ones, where you have to make those reflector molds, because now even in Tagma we have been promoting our mold makers that we don't want to do what our friends or our fathers or our grandfathers have been doing. The market is too big, and this 25%, mind you, where we are going to now upgrade ourselves, this is the market where really you make money as well. So here we have been slogging, we have been eating from that same pie, and everybody wants to have their share, and the cost has become, you don't make money nowadays. So you upgrade to yourself to such high-end molds, where you enter the lamp industry, lighting industry, or you do the electrical molds. This is going to make you even much better to deliver precision, good quality molds, and this will give a lot of respect also. Today, to earn this respect, we have to perform, and if we are in position to perform to this highest level of precision, I don't think anybody can stop India to prove its mettle. Furthermore, when you have to go for 14,000, 18,000 RA values, we have the steel. But there are some steel which has not yet reached India, like CRM PH40, because nobody is right now prepared for the price. But I'm sure coming 1 or 2 years, by 2020, my tooling industry will be having localized 100%, and in 2020, I'm sure this material is also going to be a regular business. As I told you, 240 years of experience. The grades which you are seeing are innovated by Groditz. These are Groditz innovation, and all this has happened because of the interaction which we do with the tooling industry across the globe. They are selling material all over the world, and I really feel proud to say that the highest selling steel which they do is in China. They sell more than 25,000 tons. So if somebody says that China is making cheaper molds, they are using German steel. How do they make cheaper molds? You have to look into your production and your technique of manufacturing. Something is wrong. As Jonathan also said, we all have to gather our energies. One tool room has one machine, other has got 3. You can use the other tool room's 3 machine and reduce the cost. Why you want to invest more in machines when your neighbor has it? So we are fragmented, and Tagma is, again, I really appreciate the work what the EC members are doing. And I'm also part of the Mumbai chapter, and we are preparing a very big cluster. And this cluster is going to be answer to all other states in India where everybody has to work united. Otherwise, as the previous panelists said, that somebody is taking away our business, and they will keep on denting in your business, and you cannot do anything. Strategy of main, I think I'll close this, because this is something which is very much people know. The segregation, my previous friends from the other steel companies have also explained, so it doesn't make sense me repeating the same thing. These are the charts which we would like to even share with our customers, whosoever wants, no problem, because this is where it's very important that you should know what size, what grade you have to select. If you choose looking at the cost for a cheaper version or cheaper steel, then you are surely going to end up in a problem. Advantage is, again, 2738 improved quality. You get good homogeneity, ESR quality material, which is conventional melted, but still you get a ESR quality material because of the alloying and the process which is followed by SWG. One more advantage, the pre-hardened steels never were used in thicknesses above 600, 700. Today you get even 1500 thickness if you desire. So we are in position to deliver those blocks in the highest tonnage. Again, you have a better texturing, polishing, which I have already explained. So you don't need to do interim stress even after heavy machining, because the steel is already, the alloying is so fine that it doesn't develop any stress even during the production. Weldability, I would not advise, but yes, weldability is very good, but keep away from that, because that is going to create a lot of problem in your mold if it is welded. So this is again one aspect of texturing. There are certain geometries which are in today's world very complex in texturing, and our XPM and 738 can match all those challenges. Advantages, yes, you don't have to harden, you can deliver faster. The only one thing which has a disadvantage is that the wear resistance. When you have higher hardness requirement, only that's where our XPM or our ESR steels, pre-hardened steels, will not be that effective. Applications, as I said, the number of shots which are required, that also decide the steel which you have to purchase. So if it is 500,000, the general steels or the conventional melted steels are going to be satisfying your requirement, but when you go above 500,000, you have to have the higher hardness steel, because the requirement of wear resistance is especially how tough your steel is, and that's where you have to harden and you have to go above in the ESR category. We always try to go to the customer, and our only request is that please throw us the challenges. What is the problem, and we would like to be your solution manager. So let the steel speak to you guys. Thank you very much for your attention. Any questions, or?
No, we would have to take that offline.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. But I really love that. Let the steel speak to you. Sir, could you please stay with us on stage? We would request Mr. Manoj Gandhi, partner M-Tech Industries, to please join us on stage to hand over a token of appreciation to Mr. Ashish Bhansali. Ladies and gentlemen, Managing Director, Anand Group of Companies, reliable partners for specialty steels from Germany, Mr. Ashish Bhansali.